Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to the show. I am Brett the Jet in the booth with Turn 3 Racing Network, and tonight we have a good one here. It is the American Sim Racing Club Postma Flooring Late Model Stocks Tour here at the South Boston Speedway. Practice just got wrapped up, of course, the 33 machine sitting at the top of the chart here. We'll take a look to some cars out on track, and one of them being last week's winner, Tim Rogers in the 48 machine. Out here, we'll see where he can qualify. Of course, Rogers here after qualifying, I should say, will have to start at the back of the field with winning last week. He is tonight's shotgun driver, so we'll start shotgun on the field. But wants to see about some bragging rights where he lines up in the charts. Right now, Riley Duncan with the quick time with a 15.60. Ron Hart's second quick at the moment. Tim Rogers good enough at 15.74. That was done on lap number 2. So Rogers will slot into P number 8 here at the moment. Scott Austin able to jump up to P number 3 in the 007. JJ McRae, another car out on the track here in the 78. McRae was third quick by the time practice wrapped on up, so we'll see where McRae can go. Lap number 1 good enough for P number 6 as Jeff Dillon slots into P number 5 right behind the 78 machine. McRae here off of turn number 4 for the final time, very close to the wall there on the front stretch, but that good enough for the quick time. JJ McRae in the 78 machine jumps to the top of the board there on lap number 2. Now we head to our best time in practice. This was done by this Justin Brooks design number 33 machine. Of course, it's Justin Brooks out here. Brooks on lap number 1 here. We'll see where he can go. 33 machine lap number 1. Quick time already. Brooks could shut it down here, but of course, he's trying for some more. So Justin Brooks here through 3 and 4 for the final time. A little sideways on off into the stripe. Brooks will not improve lap number 2. A 15.54 for lap number 2 for the 33 machine. Alrighty, so one of the 2 cars yet to take a time. This is Steven Rochefort in the 66. So Rochefort looking for a time here. Lap number 1 has started down the backstretch for the first time. Looks like throwing lap number 1 completely away here. So Rochefort gonna try here, but I think he's gonna run out of time, maybe miss the bottom. Only good enough for P number 16. So that will miss the invert for the 66. And there we go. That will wrap up qualifying. Justin Brooks with the quick time. Only driver that did not take a time was the 41 of TJ Hansen. So that will do it here for qualifying. Now, a quick warm-up session as drivers get the final last touches done and get ready for 125 laps here tonight. It's definitely not a short race here at one of the smallest tracks we see on the schedule, but that'll be made up in the race distance. Of course, 125 laps is going to be very demanding, especially here today. A hot day here in Virginia, about 80 degrees out. And actually, let's get some race information here as I'm talking about it. So yeah, as you can see, 76 degrees, so cooled off just a little bit. 11 mile per hour wind, but I took a look at the reading at the track temp during the start of practice. It was already up to 110 degrees. Now track temperature showing about a $120. So this track's going to be hot and very slick. It's going to make it a fun race to watch here tonight. The cream of the crop definitely going to rise to the end of this one. Of course, with those tires, though, drivers do have one set in the pits they can use at any time here tonight. Of course, with the series, we got to thank our partners. That, of course, being Postma Flooring coming on board with the title sponsorship. Huge shout out to Postma Flooring. You can find out more about them with a link in the description there. Of course, got to give a big shout out to Boardwalk Subs coming on board with the caution counter, and of course, LaPlante Racing Products, as once again they are here for another year of the Triple Crown Challenge. So drivers get ready to rock and roll here. I believe coming into tonight, I believe Tanner Tallarico leading the points here with Justin Brooks missing a race. That kind of set him on the back foot, but every time that 33 has loaded in, he has seen victory lane this season. Will this be another one? We'll find out here as warm-up wrapping on up. Let's get ready to head down trackside to go through tonight's starting lineup. Alrighty folks, we get ready now to head down trackside. So tonight's starting lineup looking like the following here for 125 laps at South Boston Motor Speedway. So starting on the pole would be last week's winner, Tim Rogers in the 48, but with picking up that win, he'll go from first all the way to the back here tonight. Starting outside of the front row will be the 38. That is Dave Payton in that Pinkerton late model stock. Then starting P number 3 will move up to the front row and lead the field to the green flag. It is the 86 machine that is piloted by Stephen Hoffman. And to the outside of row number 2 will be the 88. That is Chuck Darling. Starting P number 5 will be the 1 car. That is Tanner Tallarico. Jeff Dillon in the 52 will roll off P number 6. Starting in 7th will be the 35. That is Hayden Swank. Scott Austin in the 007 will roll off 8th. 9th going to Ron Hart in the 51. Riley Duncan in the 97 will start P number 10. Starting in 11th is the 78. That is JJ McCrae. Justin Brooks with the quick time here tonight, and the invert will start 12th. Then we head back to 13th. Who will start there? That's going to the 24 car. That is Mark Welch. Then in 14th, that is the 31 machine of Zach Hummel. That black, white, and red race car out here tonight. JT Batson in the 906 will roll off 15th. 16th going to Stephen Roachford in the 66. Ace Hart in the 145 will start 17th. 18th going to Jamie Prevost in the 73. And then it is TJ Hansen in the 41 car. Did not take a time here tonight. Would have rolled off 19th. But then we have 2 EOLs as we get ready to rock and roll here. Field is ready. Pace car is about to jump off, and here we go. Oh, as we actually this time get signaled to the 1 to go. So was a little bit early on that one. Looked like 1 car not making the grid here. I think JT Batson not making the call, so the 906 not at least taking the green flag, has a chance to get back out there, but has to do it here pretty quick, as the front row will be Stephen Hoffman in the 86 leading the field. Then it is Dave Payton in the 38 starting on the outside front row. Here we go. Now the iRacing pace car heads down pit road. Stephen Hoffman will fire off here, and we go green flag racing here at South Boston Motor Speedway. Hoffman away there with the gap. Payton able to slot into the bottom. First side-by-side battle is for third between Tallarico and Darling. The rest of the field just trying to make their way through. 1 car slightly into the wall. I think that was the 52 machine of Jeff Dillon, just getting a piece of it there off of turn number 4. That is the one thing here with South Boston is this track may not seem that big, but it is not wide. You got that inside wall here on both straightaways, then that wall into turn number 1. If there is calamity, it can collect a lot of cars in a hurry, so drivers have to be, of course, aware of that. Also here tonight, those walls come up quicker than you think, so you got to be kind of always thinking about that wall here, whether inside wall or outside wall. As it looks like Tallarico Darling still duking it out here. Hayden Swank right there on the back bumper here, just waiting for a lane to open on up. Looks like Ron Hart was able to get by Jeff Dillon. Now JJ McCrae trying to work over the 52 machine. Five laps already completed here tonight. Stephen Hoffman still out in the race lead. Further on back here, checking out some cars trying to make their way to the front. Biggest mover so far is the 78 machine of McCrae. He is up to P number 7 here as Riley Duncan trying to work over the 52, and then right behind them, 2 fast cars. Justin Brooks in the 33, and then Scott Austin in the 7 here. That's really kind of the only bottleneck here at the moment. Everyone else kind of running their race as, oh, Hayden Swank big time sideways off of turn number 4. Somehow able to hold on to that race car, but I was going to mention Swank able to get around Darling there pretty quickly, but with that big time wheel spin off of turn number 4, the 88 should be actually able to complete, and yes, he does clear on the outside. So Darling will hold down the 4 in P number 4 at least a little bit longer here, as McRae has already gotten around Ron Hart. So McRae here quickly trying to get up into the top 5. As Stephen Hoffman about a half a second advantage over Dave Payne, about 4 car lengths between the two of them. So Hoffman running his pace, and a pretty good one at that, able to kind of gap the pack behind him here as everyone's starting to really single file on out through the field. As we look, Riley Duncan will dive it to the inside of Ron Hart into turn number 1. Hart will give him the room here in 3. These two battling for P number 7 at the moment. Both McRae and Duncan started deep in the Emperor here. Same with the guy right behind them of Justin Brooks. So all these guys just trying to take their time, slicing and dicing their way through the field. Still know they got a long way to go, but it's all about a matter of time and balance of how hard do you want to push these tires, what kind of pace do we need to run. As Duncan not able to complete the pass on Ron Hart, lose the momentum. Now here comes Justin Brooks to try and take away P number 8 from the 97 machine. So Duncan to the outside of Brooks. It's the battle, like I said, for P number 8 here. Best battle on the speedway at the moment. As we ride on board here with Riley Duncan. Duncan trying to get back to the bottom side. Now we'll get filled up by Scott Austin in the number 7 machine. So Duncan could be on the wrong side of the freight train here pretty early in this one. As you can see here, racing inches off of each other here tonight at South Boston. I mean, it doesn't get much closer than that. These guys definitely leaning on each other just a little bit, but it is very, very hard fought, close racing here tonight at South Boston. Right in front of that great battle, now Justin Brooks trying to get around the 51 machine of Ron Hart. And then in front of them, Hayden Swank under fire from JJ McRae. Oh, Swank big time sideways. We saw him get loose once already here tonight off of turn number 4. You got to wonder, is Swank's tires already starting to heat on up? As Swank big time sideways there. Swank will somehow hold on to that race car, but that tire definitely toast on the right side of that 35 machine. Here we go. They're going to try and make it 3 wide there, and somehow they're able to make it work. Of course, Riley Duncan losing the spot to Scott Austin there, but that could have been a lot worse than it was. So everyone able to keep their cars rolling. So JJ McRae has made it up into the top 5. He sits P number 5. Then right behind him, quick time qualifier Justin Brooks sits P number 6. Ron Hart 7. Scott Austin now up into 8th. Riley Duncan 9th, and Jeff Dillon rounding out the top 10. Top 4 is still staying the same of Hoffman, Payton, Tallarico, and Darling. Though the gap to our race leader starting to close up just a little bit. Dave Payton has been hunting down our race leader here. Has been a little bit more consistent on the pace here, especially as this run goes on. So it's going to be really interesting to see what kind of shapes up, because these top 4 know that these guys right behind them here, 5th and 6th, are on a mission, and they are moving here tonight at Sobo. Everyone else just kind of biding their time. Brooks will look to the inside of McRae. McRae able to hold him off up in front though. Tallarico trying to work over Dave Payne. Let's ride on board with the number 1 car and see what it's like to try and get around someone here. can see with this hot track surface, folks, the back of that 38 car just slipping and sliding. That time there off of turn number 2, maybe a little bit too early, maybe a little bit too much throttle. And then here, oh, another slide by Payne. So Payne definitely using up that right rear, trying to hold off the one of Tallarico. Now Tallarico will make it by the 38 machine. Now Payne stuck up in that second lane as Chuck Darling has shown a nose to the 38 machine. So Payne just has to keep that momentum. Cannot let Darling get even with him. Does not let him do that. So Payne able to slap back into P number 3. Able to be back down on the bottom side. Now Darling under fire from Justin Brooks. Brooks now shows the nose to the 88. So now it's heads up race. Brooks now door number to door number. It's going to be hard to hold off that 38 machine, folks. Now JJ McRae will try and slap by the 88 machine as he's stuck in lane number 2. Looks like we'll be able to do that. I assume Darling will be able to slide in front of his teammate here, the 51 of Ron Hart. With that, that's given Stephen Hoffman a little bit of breathing room. Now over Tallarico in P number 2. We'll have to see how Tallarico can chase down this race leader here, as McRae has yet to complete the pass to Darling. Looks like Darling's found something maybe in lane number 2, and so far making it work really well in the 88. As we see just in front of them, Justin Brooks there making quick work of the 38. So Brooks up into a podium spot here with about 90 laps still left in this one. Battle for 5th rages on here as Chuck Darling has regained an advantage up in lane number 2. Some great driving by the driver of the 88 there, making something work in the non-preferred lane. You don't see that too often here in iRacing, especially these non-dynamic tracks. So it is very, very impressive to see as Darling once again able to get down to that bottom side of P number 5. Darling will have a chance once again to try and get around this 38 machine. Further on back here, Jamie Prevost and TJ Hansen starting to get closer and closer to each other on the track. Right behind them sits Ace Hart here. I think making about his 3rd league race appearance here. So Ace just trying to click off those all-important laps, get that comfortability. And yeah, that's the name of the game here. It looks like Hansen had a couple better corners than the 73, able to get up there. One car in some trouble here, the 24 machine of Mark Welch. He has some big time front end damage. And yeah, it looks like had maybe an incident, so we'll try and go back to see what happened to the 24. Looks like got loose off of turn number 2, goes down the backstretch here, and I'd have to think then maybe loses the back end after getting that right rear as hot as he did. We'll try and speed this up just a little bit so we can see what happened. But this, of course, a replay did not bring out the caution flag here at Sobo. Yeah, so just gets big time sideways, gets behind the wheel, and yeah, pretty significant contact to that inside wall for the 24. Did not bring out a caution, so we stay green flag racing. Stephen Hoffman out in front. Justin Brooks up into P number 2. Was able to get around the one car of Tallarico. So Brooks trying to chase down our race leader here. Has already passed 10 cars here in these first 42 laps, all under the green flag conditions. Now we'll have to make probably the toughest pass of the night. That is Stephen Hoffman for the race lead. It's Hoffman, no slouch behind the wheel, whether on asphalt or on dirt. But he's going to have a hungry driver in his rear view mirror here in a few laps. Yeah, we missed you out here, Zach. Excited to see you back out on track, but yeah, bummer not to see you out here tonight. Sobo, of course, I'm sure as you know, such a fun track to race at and race on, so Hopefully things all going well with you, my man. And yeah, like I said before, looking forward to seeing you back out here racing. Dave Payton here losing some time to Chuck Darling. Darling now within 2 car lengths. Also the race lead about 2 car lengths as well. So we'll keep an eye on both of these if we can. But I think the race for the lead here about to get interested, especially as you can start to see on the left side of your screen here, starting to get some lap traffic right in front of our race leaders here. This is where it gets fun. The 73 machine of Jamie Prevost gets up and out of the way. Love to see that here, but does that affect the momentum for Hoffman? He will try and slam the door on Brooks, but cannot do it. Here comes Justin Brooks, ace hard up against the wall, 3 wide. Brooks has to get out of the gas, let Hoffman on down. Brooks knows he has a chance to fight here as long as he doesn't damage that race car. This race looks pretty good for the 33 machine. Tallarico also got around both of those lap cars, so now lap traffic separates 3rd from 4th place, Dave Payton. Further on back here, Zach Hummel able to get around Jeff Dillon for the 13th position. So Hummel making his way through the field here. I think took his time with the pass and starting to pay out for the 31 machine. As look at this, folks, side by side for 4th with heavy lap traffic side by side in front of these guys as well. Dave Payton having to get way out of the gas, going to lose a lot of spots here as he gets trapped behind the lap traffic. Gets used as a pick against him, and Payton will go from 4th all the way down to 8th in about a lap. Looks like the rest of the guys able to get around the lap traffic, now out in front, side by side for the race lead. Stephen Hoffman has led all 54 laps. He is trying to defend from lane number 2. Justin Brooks off of turn number 2 here with the advantage. It is a drag race though. Hoffman gets a pretty good run, but Brooks has a shorter distance in the corner. They still are side by side. They touch for the race lead. And these guys putting on a great show here. And if there's one driver that loves to see this, it is the driver of the 1 car, Tanner Tallarico, able to quickly catch these race leaders right in front of him as they continue to lean on each other, continue to go side by side here. Man, oh man, great stuff from here. Now Brooks with a more of an advantage. Hoffman tries the crossover. He gets loose. New race leader, Justin Brooks, out in front. Started in 12th with the invert, qualified quick time, and just before the halfway point, the 33 is to the point. So top 3 all under a blanket here at the moment. Further on back though, Payton might be losing another spot, this one to the 97 machine of Riley Duncan. Duncan now back up to P number 8 here. And so far only 3 cars, 1 lap down, 1 car out of this race. That is the 24 of Mark Welch. And it's Prevost and Ace Hart kind of battling for the lucky dog spot. I mean, both those cars within about 3 car lengths or so of each other. That's the 73 and the 145. So another race we have to keep an eye on. Of course, another one being our race leaders, Justin Brooks out in front, but Stephen Hoffman now getting a lot of a bright yellow number 1 machine in that rearview mirror. That's right on board with our 2nd place runner, Stephen Hoffman, looking back at the 1 car of Tallarico. Tallarico may be a little bit better at the apex here, but Stephen Hoffman continues to get great runs out of the corner. That's how he's been able to stay in front of the number 1 car. Last time by for the 33 machine, he saw the cross flags. That is halfway down, halfway home here tonight in race number 6 of the Postma Flooring Late Model Stocks Tour. And at the conclusion of tonight, folks, it will be halfway through this season as, oh man, Justin Brooks having an issue, lagged on out. We'll see if Brooks comes on back. So far at the moment does not, so that could be a heartbreak for the 33 machine. That would be a heartbreaker for Brooks, as if he disconnects, you know, he would lose the race lead and of course have no shot at winning this one. As we see the race leaders here coming back up on the lap traffic out here tonight. Maybe Prevost. Oh, as Hoffman makes contact with the lap traffic leader with some right front damage. For sure some scratches on that paint now on the right side of the 86. Maybe to match the scratches on the left side there, but that could have been really, really bad for Stephen Hoffman there. Somehow able to hang on to that race car. And we, of course, have not seen the caution flag all night long. This field starting to spread on out. We'll see who has the tires and who used them on up. And I have a feeling if we get a caution at any point from this point on, it will be a busy pit road, as I think most of the field will come down for some tires here tonight. Further towards the back here, Zach Hummel putting pressure, or I should say getting pressured by Jeff Dillon. So Hummel was able to get around the 52 machine. Now Dillon a little bit better pace out of the 52. So we'll see if Dillon can get by, because these guys have to be a little bit worried. Leaders are about a quarter of a track behind them, so they are starting to get close to becoming lap traffic here without a caution flag. Out in front though, Stephen Hoffman leading the way here, as Justin Brooks, yeah, it looks like is done for tonight. So heartbreak for the 33, was able to slice and dice his way through the field, put on a great show, but will have connection issues and will not finish this one. So that means Stephen Hoffman, of course, back out in front, led the first 53 laps, and with leading these laps now, I believe Stephen Hoffman will walk away with the most laps led here tonight. Qualified 2P number 3, but started on the pole with the EOL. But big time mistake there by Hoffman. Got wicked loose into turn number 3. Lost a ton of time now. Tallarico within a car length with heavy lap traffic in front of our race leaders. How well can Stephen Hoffman navigate through this traffic? How much tire does he have left? It looks like it has been a hard 75 laps on that right rear. How much more does he have? He at least, if it goes green to the end here, he has to make it another 50 laps, as he is now in heavy, heavy lap traffic, trying to get around the 145 machine of Ace Hart. Now the 52 of Jeff Dillon and TJ Hansen right there as well. Dillon will get out of the throttle, let these leaders go on by. Appreciated by the 52 machine. Now Hansen, the next car, in danger here in the 41 machine. If we do get a caution here at the moment, Jeff Dillon would be our lucky dog driver, our wave round driver, but that could be in jeopardy here very quickly, as Stephen Hoffman now within 2 car lengths of the 41 machine. Hansen will get up into lane number 2 out of the leader's way. We'll try and fight that just a little bit, but once they get on by, he'll let him on go. Now they'll try and work once again around the 73 car here. This time we'll stay to the bottom side. Hoffman almost gets tagged there, so you already know those 2 cars getting into it before here tonight. Now Zach Hummel in this 31 machine will try and keep it in front of the race leaders, but I think it's only a matter of time before the 31 will go 1 lap down. will have to slot right in behind the number 1 car, because if he doesn't, he could get passed by Hansen in the 41, who sits about 4th in this line, and then it is Hansen who is the lucky dog here. So Hoffman will get around the 31 machine, will be able to get clear. So Hoffman now with a lot of clean and open racetrack out here in front of him. That battle for the lucky dog spot here underway, as it looks like TJ Hansen does do exactly that, able to get around the 31 machine. So Hansen at the moment going to be the lucky dog candidate. One driver we haven't talked about much started shotgun on the field. Last week's winner, Tim Rogers, has driven up from 18th on the starting grid once we took the green flag. Now trying to work over Ron Hart for P number 7. So he has driven his way up into the top 10. That 48 machine looking like has some really good pace out here. He probably just needs a caution. Wow, Ron Hart big time sideways there off of turn number 4. That 51 machine definitely loose. That right rear definitely going away on that race car. Out in front though, Stephen Hoffman continues to lead the way over Tanner Tallarico. Tallarico putting the pressure on the 86, but Hoffman has yet to make a big mistake, so that is all Hoffman can do here, is just keep on running his race. Cannot afford a mistake there as Tallarico looks to the outside, gets a little bit loose, so will fall back in line behind the 86. Chuck Darling here in the 88 has been able to hold on to P number 3, has been able to keep JJ McCrae at bay, so that is a pretty close battle for our 3rd position here, but Chuck Darling doing an awesome job out here tonight. As Ron Hart way off the pace here. I think that tire might be trying to shed itself apart here, as he has now lost the spot to Dave Payne. Looks like Jeff Dillon down on pit road in the 52, so definitely not a scheduled stop if you're coming in under the green flag conditions. Stephen Roachford just will now go 1 lap down here in the 66, so these leaders trying to lap inside of the top 10 here, as they will now get around the 35 machine of Hayden Swank. So now, in fact, these leaders have lapped up into the top 10 here tonight. First car here, 1 lap down at the moment, is the 35 machine of Hayden Swank. As these two leaders running about 16 threes, high 16 threes, the last couple laps, now maybe a 16-4, whereas 3rd and 4th now down into 16 twos, high 16 twos at that, but 3rd and 4th maybe a little bit faster than our race leaders here. But it's going to be a tall order to make up that 3 and about a quarter second deficit back onto from our leaders to 3rd. Stephen Hoffman here, able to find a nice rhythm out here in some clean racetrack, able to actually grow his lead to about a car length and a half over Tanner Tallarico, so some great time driving here further on back. TJ Hansen getting another spot here, able to get around Stephen Roachford for 11, so Hansen just has to get around Hayden Swank, who sits a decent amount up in front of him on the racetrack, but anything can happen, and if Hansen does get that spot, 1, that'll put him into the top 10. 2, he will be the lucky dog candidate here at the moment. Here towards the middle of the pack here, looks like Tim Rogers working over Scott Austin in the 7 machine. So like I said before, folks, Rogers started 18th here to take the green flag, and now he has driven his way up into the top 5. Tim Rogers sits P number 5 here. He will have a long way to go, though, to get to JJ McCrae. About 5 seconds. I don't think, unless those cars really start falling off in front of him, it's going to be a tall order for Rogers to get any more positions without a lucky caution flag here. Out in front though, Stephen Hoffman continues to lead the way, has led all but about, I want to say 10 laps or so, and this time by we start lap number 100 of 125. Next time by we will get the countdown clock, and that means it is 25 to go as one car with some problems. That is Hayden Swank in the 35 machine. Swank was running in the lucky dog spot in, I believe, 10th. Now will fall all the way to about 13th. Did spin off the racing surface, so we'll stay green flag racing, but that is a tough break for Swank, as now that moves TJ Hansen into that lucky dog spot, as well as into the top 10 here. I know I said here to start the race out, the cream will rise to the crop. Well, this race definitely showing that. First 100 and now 1 laps have been completed under green flag. This setup a handful. These tires going away. Tanner Tallarico sideways on the track. Tallarico will lose it in 3 and 4. And Tallarico will bring out our first caution of the night. And I'm hearing from the driver, blew the right rear, and that's what sent that car around. So, man, those tires screaming for mercy. And let's take a look, see what brought out our first caution of the night. So Tallarico just goes into turn number 1, and yeah, like you said, just lost the back end, absolutely zero grip. And that's what can happen if these tires get below, 10% or less. And that's probably what happened to the one car. It should be really interesting to see what kind of percentage he has left. So everyone down on pit road here. As it looks like Stephen Hoffman down this time. Looks like maybe Hoffman mistimed when pit road was open, so the 86 down maybe a lap too late. But look at this, Chuck Darling staying out on the racetrack here, so it's going to be really interesting to see how drivers shake on out, see how this all works out, because I assume most drivers going to have to take 4 tires with the amount of wear, but if you pit from too far back, you probably don't have time to slap 4 new tires on that car. That sucks to hear, Justin. That's a sim crash for you. Hopefully it wasn't caused by the new update or anything like that, but that's a heartbreak, because like we were watching you do, man, you were driving your way through the field here and doing an awesome job at that. You and Hoffman put on a great battle, and hate to see a race end any time like that. So our first restart of the night will come inside of 20 laps to go, as I believe everyone trying to sort out where we got to go. Like I said, a lot of drivers either getting trapped a lap down or having some sort of issue on pit road. So everyone trying to sort out where they got to go. But out in front, Chuck Darling did not pit, so he will lead the field to the green flag. Does he have enough tire? Does he have any tire left on that 88 machine? And the first driver on 2 is McRae to his outside. Scott Austin on 2 tires as well. Same with the 51 of Ron Hart. First driver on 4 fresh tires will, I believe, be the 86 machine of Stephen Hoffman. So it looks like this time lineup looks good enough from race control, so we will go green flag racing next time by. The lights will go out around the speedway here. We get ready to turn them loose, and if we get some green flag racing, I say we do a little turn 3, turn it up towards the end of this one here tonight. But here for restart number 1, it's going to be Chuck Darling, JJ McRae on the front row here. Darling in the 88 will be in control of this one. Darling picking up a win in the Street Stock Series, has yet to win here in the late model stocks. He will go early, and we will get back to green flag racing here at South Boston with about 15 laps to go. Darling able to make it work down there on the inside lane. Here comes Ron Hart, though. He is absolutely sending it up in lane number 2. Ron Hart up into P number 2. Hart putting the pressure now on his teammate. They go door number to door number down the backstretch, and it will be Ron Hart with the advantage going into turn number 3. McRae will now try and jump to the outside of Darling here. Will do exactly that into turn number 1, but Ron Hart out in front. Does Hart have enough to win this one? He was in jeopardy of going one lap down. That caution came out at the right time for the 51, and now he could be seeing his way to victory lane. But has a very quick McRae there in second. Scott Austin working over the 88 of Chuck Darling here. Austin will be able to clear the 88. Here comes now Stephen Hoffman. Hoffman has to be wondering, man, what will it take to pick up a win? What needs to go right? Because he was oh so close, led the most laps by a mile here tonight. But Hoffman just now gets into P number 4 here with 10 laps to go. Everyone else trying to race and get their way on up. Dave Payton here at the moment currently sits as the lucky dog here. So if we get a caution, the 38 will get it. He is battling the 97 machine of Riley Duncan here. Tanner Tallarico has not made too quick a work through the field here, so he is back mired into P number 7, but out in front, McRae is on Ron Hart for the race lead here with now 8 laps to go. McRae, I believe, looking for win number 1. Let me triple check that, but if that is, he is looking for a lot on the line here tonight. Oh, as we get a caution flag on the speedway out here tonight. And yeah, McRae sits with 0 wins. So McRae looking for his first ever win and sitting in a really good spot for it. So we'll try and figure out maybe where this caution came on out on the speedway. And it looks like, oh, maybe the 31 machine gets some help in the left rear quarter panel by maybe the 66 machine of Stephen Roach, for all those guys checking on up for the slow car of Chuck Darling on those old tires. And that was enough to get the 31 sideways enough to bring out our second caution. And I think with this caution, it's going to be a unofficial green-white checker here. Dave Payton, the lucky dog here, so that'll move now 9 cars onto the lead lap here. Like I said, going to be a unofficial green-white checker to end a very exciting race here tonight at South Boston. Ron Hart will get the choose next time by, will be in control of the restart. Does Hart choose the outside? That's how he got the race lead. Or does he go the safe and defending option of the inside lane? Oh man, it's about to be a shootout to the end of this one. Remember folks, if we get the green flag and see a caution before the white, we do have 1 attempt at a green-white checkered. If we make it to the white flag here, this race is official. We are racing back to the checkered. So lights are out, the field will re-rack, restack, and we get ready to send them on off with an unofficial green-white checkered out here tonight. Ron Hart elects the inside lane, so the 51 will start inside of row number 1 in control. JJ McRae, what does he have? Looking for his first ASRC win. Here we go, Ron Hart on the throttle early. We go back to green flag racing in a shootout. Hart away here, able to hit turns 1 and 2 pretty well. McRae with a little bit of a run. McRae will look to the inside of the 51 and we'll get a nose down there off of turn number 4. White flag is out, 1 more lap to go. McRae to the inside of Hart. What can he do through 3 and 4 here for the final time? Hart will drive it in there deep. McRae will try and get the run off of turn number 4. It's going to be a drag race to the stripe, but Ron Hart will pick up the win here. JJ McRae will finish second. Scott Austin will finish P number 3. Wow. What a great finish to a great race out here tonight at the South Boston Motor Speedway. Don't go anywhere, folks. We got celebrations, some burnouts from our winner, and of course our post-race show right after that. So Ron Hart will bring the 51 machine on around, and I can't wait to talk to all these drivers just to see how low those tires were, as well as how much of a handful it was. As Ron Hart picks up the win, his son Ace Hart parks there on the front stretch as well. And here we go, Ron Hart in the 51 machine, burning it on down here on the front stretch of South Boston. I know this guy's pumped up about this win. I believe with this win as well, this will put now Ron Hart back into P number 3 and actually ties him with Andrew Payne as a second winningest driver here in ASRC, as Hart brings it to the nose of his kid. But yeah, a big win for Ron Hart. He's definitely celebrating it big time. But yeah, that is why ties him all time for P number 2 in wins at ASRC, tying him with the Payne train, Andrew Payne in the 93 machine. As Ron Hart will park it here right at the start finish line. So we'll be back after a quick commercial break to talk to our top 3 here.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Alrighty, folks, we are here back at the South Boston Motor Speedway here and going to be chatting with our podium finishers. Our first driver we'll be talking to here is our third place finisher, that being the 007 or the 7 of Scott Austin. Scott, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Hey, Brett, I got you.
Alrighty, my man. First and foremost, how are we feeling after 125 laps here?
Yeah, that went a lot longer than I thought it was going to. It started to get a little tiring.
Yeah, and I mean, that long green flag run was incredible, and I think the question of the day, what were those tires looking like by the end of that one for you?
You know, thankfully, I setup felt a little different than usual, so I was able to go up high fairly early and figure out that that did work. So I just kind of kept going high, then low, then high. So at the end, I only had about 20% left, but the split and stagger was still pretty good on it.
Nice. Yeah, that's some pretty good percentages. Definitely not enough to stay out there like we saw the 88 do. So for sure the call was come down, take some tires, but only taking right sides. I mean, those that left rear had to be feeling a little bit of wear and definitely looser once you took on those tires.
Yeah, the setup always feels a little different once you pit and come for tires. You really never what you're going to get. Sometimes it's real tight, sometimes it's kind of just more of the same. Sometimes it doesn't feel like you got tires at all. So glad it worked out. The car felt pretty good after we pit there, and we were able to stay out of trouble trying to get around the guys that didn't.
Yeah, and that you were able to do, quickly and cleanly get around Chuck Darling there. And yeah, Scott here tonight, had some great pace, able to qualify inside the invert, pass a lot of cars, started pretty deep and then kind of ride around, get that pace. And yeah, here tonight, able to walk away to the podium, a pretty awesome sight to see.
Yeah, it feels good to come back to the league after a couple of weeks off and have a good run. You're right, I started back deep in the field, got freight trained on the outside to start. So had our work cut out for us, but stayed patient, and here we are.
Yeah, and you mentioned before up in lane number 2. Did you practice that much, or as the tires kind of wore, you found, hey, there's some decent speed up here with kind of how things were running here tonight at Sobo?
Yeah, honestly, I did only run a few laps in practice during the warm up, and it didn't feel great. So I wasn't going to utilize that. But during the race, I could feel that my car was going away quicker than I wanted it to. So I was just kind of grasping at straws at that point, and I think I gained a car length and a half in a single lap going up there. So I kind of just stuck to it, and then, like I say, I was able to just kind of alter my line high and low throughout the race to keep the stagger right, and it worked out for me.
Yeah, that it did, able to walk away with P number 3. And how were we feeling coming into this track? We know it's South Boston, one of the classic tracks here on iRacing. Always got to wonder with those close walls here on the straightaways, you have an incident, it's usually going to be a big one. Of course, none here tonight. And so, I mean, how were we feeling coming in here?
Yeah, I think I was just, as surprised as ever. I thought we could run well. I thought we could find some speed throughout the night, but this track is tight. It's bumpy. My luck hasn't been on my side lately, so I wasn't expecting much. So maybe that's helped me calm down and kind of bide my time. Sometimes it is hard to calm down when you're wheeling the crap out of such a small, bumpy track like this. So I think all in all, that may have played in my favor a little bit and helped me get to where I'm at.
Yeah, I think so as well. And I said here coming into tonight, especially with the setup under these cars and just this track in general, like you said, a small bumpy track. I said the cream will rise to the top here tonight. And Scott, you did exactly that. And looking at the schedule, some tricky tracks here in the near future. You got Lucas Oil, Richmond, USA, North Wilkesboro. I mean, it's going to be a fun run of the season. How are we feeling about now going into the second half?
You aren't kidding. There's some variables there for sure. The first two you named off aren't my favorite. The second two, I seem to enjoy quite a bit. So, looking forward to getting back out here as much as we can. Hopefully, the luck stays in our hands. Hopefully, we still continue to find the speed we've got tonight. And hopefully see more of us up here talking to you at the end of the night.
Yeah, I hope so as well. And yeah, I think it comes down to a lot of it, Scott, that word luck that you mentioned quite a bit. And I think most nights here, especially, with sim racing, you'd rather be lucky than good 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, you're right, and especially in a league like this, the league that they put on is full of strong guys, fast drivers. So, if you just bring speed to the table, it's just not enough. You've got to have some luck. You've got to have a lot of good racecraft, and really figure out and put an edge on some of these other guys. Because, like I said, so many of these guys are so fast that if you just try to use your speed, you're not going to get very far.
Yeah, and that definitely the case each week. And Scott, able to finish on the podium. So once again, congrats to that. That is awesome to see. Before we let you go and celebrate a P number 3 out here with a very difficult race, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you and have you thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors, teammates, or maybe some people tuning into the broadcast here tonight.
Yeah, all the above, of course. Everybody that's on the car. Brian couldn't make it tonight to the race, but hopefully we'll get him, drag him back out here in the coming weeks when we can make it work for the both of us. Papa Austin's always watching at home, which is cool. Thank you guys for putting on a great broadcast. I really enjoy going back and listening and watching, trying to critique myself, seeing what other drivers were doing. And all the other drivers in this league, they're fast, they're quick, they're hard, they race hard. So it's really good practice and really good seat time to be out here with these guys. And thanks to Tanner for putting on such a good league. It's ran professional, it's ran well. The rule book is fair. So just really enjoy being here. So thanks again.
Well, thank you, Scott, for taking your time out of the Tuesday night and joining us and being part of the show. It's always exciting to see the 7 car out here. I know, with especially that luck on your side, man, you're a force to be reckoned with. So, Scott, have yourself a great rest of the night, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again here in the near future.
Thanks, Brett. Have a good night.
Alrighty, folks, that was our 3rd place finisher, Scott Austin. Now we'll head up to our runner-up finisher, that being the 78 machine of JJ McCrae. JJ, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, my man? A long 125 laps, but not in the caution, just a very long green flag run. How are we feeling?
I'm pretty gassed. I'm tired as hell, really. That first, whatever it was, we did 80 or 90 or something laps that we pulled off green right off firing off. That was pretty nuts. So I'm pretty tired from that. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was very impressive to see. I think we got 102 green flag consecutive laps there. And of course, with that amount of laps, how are those tires feeling? How is that car feeling by the end of that one?
Oh, she wasn't much good. Before the caution, I was stunned. Like, we fired off and just out rolling around racing, and then all of a sudden the spotter said we were halfway through, and I was like, holy, we smoking through them pretty good. So I kind of started to save a little bit because I was nervous of popping them or blowing tires or just losing them at all. So started saving some, and it seemed like when you underdrove the car, you were able to make more speed. So the old slow is smooth, smooth is fast, I guess, proves to be true again. So once I kind of dialed it back and started saving, I didn't really lose much speed, but even with the saving, it was at, I think I had 30% left on my right rear and 50 on the left. And there was only 20 or so laps left at that point. So I said, screw it, I'm just going to take rights and take some track position. There's probably not enough time to drive through the field if I take 4 and everybody else does too. So, and here we are, seemed to go all right.
Yeah, that it did, able to walk away with a P number 2 after that. Can't be too upset. But yeah, going back to the start of the race, I mean, you and Justin Brooks, I mean, slicing and dicing your way through the field very quickly. I was kind of worried a little bit about those tires, but hearing those percentages, my man, it sounds like you managed them pretty well once you got to that clean air and got a rhythm going.
Yeah, like you say, I was nervous on him too. I wasn't trying to push too hard off the start. I don't know if I just had a bit of a line improvement or something, like if I had a bit of an advantage there. But once we kind of got going, I wasn't trying to be aggressive, and I just drove up through semi-decently. So then once we just got up there, and I was rolling with Chuck for a long while, we did a ton of laps, bumper to bumper, and I was able to get to him. And if I could have pushed harder, I might have got by him, but I just kind of wanted to save, and I was happy to just be right there with him. And yeah, I was hoping for a caution to throw some new right sides on.
Yeah, and that luckily able to get that caution. But yeah, that battle between you and Chuck Darling, like you said, ran, I want to say, 50 laps bumper to bumper like that. It was awesome to see, as well as that move for Chuck to stay in front of you, making that high side work. Was that something you put in the memory bank for later, or was that kind of like, hey, there could be some speed up there if we need it as well?
Yeah, when he defended me off from the high side, I was like, okay, well, kind of noted. And then later on in the race, he did a really good job there, defending me off and keeping it clean. And he was just faster car at that time. And then later on in the race, on one of the restarts, I was behind. I pulled in behind him, and I think it was Ron Hart just blew by us on the outside. He ended up going on to win. So as soon as I saw Ron go by on the outside, I was like, well, there goes the high side again. I'm trying it. Next corner, I went up top, and I passed Chuck back on the high side. So we're even in the end, and it was a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, that it was. And like you said there, that second to last restart, the first restart of the night, starting on the front row. And yeah, some great racing there. Like you said, tucked in And then, yeah, Ron Hart with the absolute sends up on the high side, somehow making it stick. And then, of course, you're able to fall on through, slot in line. I mean, what'd you need on that last restart maybe for Ron Hart here to pick up the win?
I think I probably could have pushed a little harder. I have a tendency to kind of be pretty gracious and leave some room, but maybe I could have worked him a bit more. And other than that, it was two tight cars. He was under me for a sec. I got under him. It was a good time back and forth.
Yeah, that it was. And you know that kind of cautionary racecraft that you have and you display is probably helping you here, and not any series particular of the late model stocks or maybe the street stocks, let's say, on the points front alone. But overall, a quarter of the way through the season, JJ, you're actually leading the overall short track standings in both series combined. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. I really didn't expect it to be going that way and get off to a good start and kind of keep it going for a little bit, anyways. And hopefully we can keep knocking them down. And just in order to finish first, you first must finish. So yeah, just consistently bring the car home in one piece. Had a couple of bad lucks in the last few weeks, but I don't personally love the bigger NASCAR size tracks. I more prefer the grassroots short track kind of real life late model stuff. So I was happy to get back to South Boston here tonight and try and make up for some of my woes I might have had in Bristol and where else was it we were there?
Dover.
Yeah, Bristol and Dover. Yeah, that's right. I had a terrible week at Dover. Holy.
Yeah, that definitely wasn't a run for the memory books here, but yeah, rebound awesome here tonight, up to P number 2, so that's definitely gonna help the points racing a little bit if you're looking at it this early.
That's right. Yeah, got to take what you can get.
Yeah, for sure. And JJ, awesome run here tonight. It should be interesting to see where the overall points here end after tomorrow night, because then that'll make it halfway through the season. And I have a feeling you'll be in the hunt week in and week out. But JJ, before we let you go, we got to hand over the mic to you and have you thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors on the car, some of those all important teammates, and all those good sim buddies that we all have, or maybe some people tuning on into the broadcast at home tonight.
Yeah, I got to thank all the sponsors on the car, and I got to thank you guys for putting on the broadcast. It's always a lot of fun going back the next day and watching, and just really dragging my feet through the coals while I rewatch all the mistakes I make and try and improve, think about what I could do better for next week. And so that's great. And the leagues ran like it's a great league and everything, a lot of fast guys. So I got to thank all them, the people at home watching, and yeah, track roast now.
Yeah, and appreciate you, JJ, taking your time out of the Tuesday night, spending it here with us, and getting some good old sim racing, kind of adrenaline pumping through your veins. Because I tell people, you do get into this, and it really does, get your heart racing and all that good stuff.
Yeah, the races might be virtual, but when the leagues ran so much based off what a real life league would be, and then when you get guys like Ron and a lot of the other guys in here that run just like it's a real deal, and it's not just a video game. The race might be virtual, but the adrenaline's definitely real.
Yeah, that is definitely the case. Well, JJ, you have yourself a great rest of the night. Hopefully, we'll be maybe even talking to you tomorrow. If not, I'm sure we'll be talking to you again in the future, my man. So you have yourself a great rest of the night.
Thanks, man. You too. Hope to talk to you again soon.
Alrighty, folks. That was our second place finisher, the 78 machine of JJ McCrae. Now we'll head down to Victory Lane and talk with the man of the hour. It is the 51 machine of Ron Hart. Ron, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yeah, we got you.
Alrighty, my man. How are we feeling first and foremost? 125 laps here at Sobo. Who knew these races could be so demanding, right?
Oh man, I sucked for about 124 of those laps, but I don't know how the heck I got here, but we'll take it, man. It was a battle out there for sure. I completely underestimated the tire wear. Didn't get much practice like normal. Felt like maybe we burned the right front a little bit and just cooked the right rear off it. We had 6% left. Thank Tanner Tallarico for spinning out there. I was just about to pull high for the leaders to go a lap down, and got the timely caution and had 6% right rear. I don't think I've ever been that low in my life and hanging on to it. So just don't really feel like I deserve this win, but we're going to take it.
Yeah, for sure, Ron. And like you said, such an up and down race for you. We saw you struggling there, especially late in that green flag run. That pace absolutely fell off a cliff. Probably, once that tire fell below that 15% and definitely that 10%. I mean, anything below 10%, you're pretty much just on ice at all times.
Just hanging on, man, and trying not to wreck, cause a caution. This is never one of my better tracks, so I just tried to stay out of trouble out there today. And like I said, I don't really feel like I pushed it that hard, and then still just cooked the right rear. So um, felt good about two tires. I feel like I was too far back to take four and not get lapped, and was surprised to come out um, fourth there. And then Chuck said he didn't pit, and I'm like, well, shoot, we're in a good spot. And been rolling the top the whole night, and was able to roll around those guys and get to the lead. And I saw JJ back there, and he was better than me for sure. I think most guys were, but I know he's going for the points and couldn't be too aggressive, right? It was going to be a spot where he was going to have contact to beat me, and I didn't think he was going to do that, so it worked out.
Yeah, that it did, Ron. Going from almost one lap down, get that timely yellow, get back on, of course, some fresh rubber, at least on the right sides. And yeah, like you said, restarted then P number 4. And then on the restart, you see McRae go down to the bottom side. And I assume you saw the open daylight, said, I got to take this. This is too good to pass up, right?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of worked out good. I couldn't believe JJ. I knew he took tires, and I knew Chuck was kind of sitting duck looking at how bad my tires were. So I couldn't believe when JJ got behind Chuck there. I didn't really understand that move, and I took advantage of the top for sure. Was happy to see it. Had a pretty good lead there. Hated to see that caution come out with 6 or 7 to go, but held on. I guess I didn't feel like I had much speed tonight, which is strange, and to win this one's pretty cool. Felt like I've given away a couple earlier in the season.
Yeah, this one you definitely claimed on back here. And yeah, like you said, Ron, of course, this race has to end in a dramatic fashion, like most of these late model stocks do, and ends in a kind of an unofficial green white checkered there. You elect the bottom side. I thought it was the right call, and I assume you did too. Just try and hit your marks from there, and you were able to get the job done.
Yeah, just making sure he couldn't beat me or on the top. I felt like if I could hold him to the bottom, I'd be good. Oh, hey, Brad, I got another commitment here. I got a special guest interview here. Take a little of my time. Ace Hart, putting him on the mic for a few questions while I go do this other commitment here.
All right, sounds good. We got the old driver swap coming on in here, so I believe now we'll get a word with Ace Hart here.
Hi.
All righty, Ace. It is good to talk to you, my man. How are we feeling after that 125 laps? That was a crazy one, right?
Yeah, the tire wear was definitely bad for most of it, and then when I pitted, it just felt so much better.
Oh, I bet it. I mean, the tire wear, people may be watching at home. I mean, what does it feel like? Just the car not turning, or what did it feel like for you out there tonight?
Yeah, the car just wasn't turning the greatest because when the leaders were coming, I ran so high, I was in the crap on the top, so it just screwed the tires up.
Yeah, and that it did. And that made it a good point there, Ace. That outside lane getting all those marbles for that all green flag run. I mean, it had to be a handful to hang on to that race car up there in that loose stuff, right?
It definitely was.
Yeah, that it was. But overall, man, now I think this is your third or fourth race under your belt here in the league. What are your impressions?
It's good. Definitely good. I like it because 'cause I just like racing with my dad.
Oh, for sure. It's definitely a special feeling, and I know that feeling really well, and you just can't beat it to be out there, racing with your dad out here to get that bond as well as that track time. I mean, at least for me, I know how you feel about it, but it is just so awesome.
It really is very awesome.
Yeah, that it is, Ace. And you're getting into the sim racing, just got it this year, but you're also into some other racing. I mean, why don't you tell the viewers at home, what else you like to spend your time doing?
I like to spend my time doing mini wedge racing.
Heck yeah, and I heard this year went pretty good for you as well, right? Picking up one checkered flag already.
Yep, the Corgan Oil Speedway. Owasso is also fun, except for when there was crap in the carburetor.
Yeah, that's never a fun time. You're like, why isn't this cart faster, right?
Yeah, it was just slow on the like if you let off, then it was just slow.
Yeah, I bet so. The good old momentum racing. And with the mini wedges, like you said, Ace, been to a lot of different tracks. What's been your favorite so far that you've driven on?
Corgan Oil Speedway.
Heck yeah.
because I won there, and I just like how the track layout is, the triangle.
Yeah, it's kind of like almost, mini Pocono as the Cup Series just went there, right?
Yeah, mini Pocono. Good way to put it.
Yeah, that is awesome to hear, Ace. And yeah, we'll maybe let you wrap things up. I know if your dad wants to get back on, but we enjoyed talking with you, Ace. And before we let you go, anything you want to shout out to on the broadcast, can thank sponsors, teammates, anyone else, or maybe some people watching at home.
I want to shout out my dad for letting me get iRacing. I want to shout out my grandma and grandpa, my mom for letting me stay up late, and I also want to shout out Chris Munson at Munson. What is this? Munson Racing and Tim Lahar, Better by Muffler and Brakes.
Heck yeah. Well, awesome stuff, Ace. And I tell you what, I think you'll be pretty good with these interviews. How do we feel after that? That was pretty awesome.
Definitely was awesome. I liked during the interview and the race.
Oh, for sure, man. And I think it's only going to be a matter of time here. You get some more seat time under you, and I think we'll be talking to you here in the near future.
Yeah, I hope I get to talk to you again on this.
Awesome stuff there. Well, that was Ace Hart, Ron's son out here, able to start racing in the league here. Just jumped in this season. Very fresh in iRacing. And as you can see here, this league, we take in anyone and everyone on the skill levels like you hear from the fast guys. Some very fast drivers out here tonight, but you can definitely learn a lot from a lot of these guys, a lot of people willing to help. And that's kind of what makes up the club part of the American Sim Racing Club. Alrighty, well, do we have anyone else on the mic for the 51 camp?
Oh, we just got back refing that thing. Hope Ace did a good job for you.
Oh, I think he did. I think he nailed it. And I told Ace, Ron, I think he has some interviews here in the near future, and I think he definitely killed that one here.
Okay, good. Glad to hear it. Next time he's gonna have to earn it and get him a top 3 so he can get on here though.
Yeah, and I told him it's only a matter of time. I mean, you see people jump in, all it takes is just that virtual experience. Then all of a sudden, people kind of flick that switch, figure out that last little bit, and then they're on rails.
Oh yeah, he's got a lot to learn, and got to get him down here more and keep getting some more laps. It's all about that seat time. Just like any sport, anything in life, the more you practice at it, the better you get at it.
Yeah, that it is. And Ron, before we let you go, I did talk about you with one thing. I love the stats. I love looking at all that fun stuff. And here tonight with this win, it ties you now with Andrew Payne for the second winning driver here at ASRC.
I've been thinking about that. I think about it more when I give them away, like I did at Myrtle Beach and maybe one a couple weeks ago or last week at Dover in the street stocks. Probably could have had a couple more, but it's cool to be out here. And these races are so hard to win, man. I put it right up there as hard as it is in real life. Everybody's so close and so good, and just got to have stuff go your way. So it means a lot to get a win versus this stacked field.
Yeah, that it is an awesome sight to see. As Ron, this now makes it your 23rd official win. Awesome stuff.
Thanks, Brett.
All righty, Ron. Well, I think that will do it here for us down in Victory Lane. But of course, before we let you go, now it's your turn to give the old spiel, Ron. And you can thank who you got to thank, whether teammates, anyone on the car, of course, or anyone else watching here at home.
First and foremost, I want to thank Tanner Tallarico. Normally, I thank him for doing the league, but tonight I'm going to thank him for spinning out and bringing out that caution so I can get this win. Also, want to give a shout out to Ace, not only the interview, but I'm proud of him for doing 5 races now. I don't think he's caused a single caution. And I looked tonight, and he did 121 laps and no incidents. That's pretty good for this little place for sure. Also, shout out to my parents. I think they're still watching. They watch every one of your broadcasts, so I appreciate you doing them. And also shout out to Better Buy Muffler and Brakes and just the whole league, man. It's pretty cool. We can have 20 cars at this little place and run 100 green flag laps and just have that good, clean racing.
Yeah, that it is. It definitely is awesome to see. And Ron, we got to thank you for showing on up all the many starts you've had. I think now with this day and age, I think you're pretty much in the top 5 of starts. Yeah, you sit now 3rd in it. So Ron, we appreciate your dedication to the league here. And it's always exciting to see the 51 car out here because we know any day with a little bit of luck, especially, this car can end up in victory lane.
Appreciate it.
Alrighty, Ron. Well, you have yourself a great rest of the night, my man, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again here in the near future.
Thanks, Brett.
Alrighty, folks. That was our race winner, the 51 machine of Ron Hart. Man, some great stuff there, and what a treat it was to chat with Ace there, and I'm excited to see what Ace can do here in the future as he continues to develop here in iRacing and in real life. So let's head on over and see what the race results look like as we now finish the first half of the summer series of the Postma Flooring Late Model Stocks Tour. So Ron Hart will pick up his 23rd career win here tonight at South Boston. JJ McRae will finish second in the 78, and Scott Austin in the 007 will round out the top three. Stephen Hoffman in the 86 will finish fourth. What a heartbreaker for Hoffman here tonight. Led over 100 laps, I believe, and will come up short with the pit strategy. He will finish fourth. Tim Rogers in the 48 will start, well, I should say he started in the back row here tonight, drove his way up into the top five. Tim Rogers rounds out the top five. Tanner Tallarico in the number one car will finish sixth. Seventh going to Chuck Darling in the 88. Dave Payne in the 38 will finish in eighth, the last car on the lead lap. First car one lap down was the 97 machine of Riley Duncan. And then it is TJ Hansen in the 41 machine picking up another top 10. Zach Hummel will finish 11th. 12th going to Stephen Rochford. 13th is Jamie Prevost. 14th Hayden Swank. Ace Hart will finish P number 15. Jeff Dillon 16th. And then 17th going to Justin Brooks. A heartbreak for him. Was able to get to the lead before the halfway point. But it looks like this sim crash for him. You hate to see those kind of races for anyone. And then finishing 18th here tonight was the 24 car of Mark Welch. So that'll do it here tonight from South Boston. Like I said, season halfway over now. Next week, we will go to Lucas Oil Raceway here on July 1st. So you guys won't want to miss that. That should be another exciting race. Here tonight, it was kind of the bottom side where it was at. Lucas Oil will be the top side. So that will definitely be very, very exciting. So, folks, that will do it here for me here tonight. Turn 3 Racing Network is partnered with that logo you see in the bottom right. That is Premier Setup Shops. If you guys would be oh so kind, there's a link in the description. That'll take you over to their website. Even if you don't buy anything, a click will go a long way here as they support all the racing action that you guys can watch here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Also, we got to give, of course, a shout out to all the racers to put on the show. We all get to enjoy ASRC as well as the partners at ASRC, Postma Flooring, coming on board with the title sponsor. Got to give them a big, huge shout out. Their link also in the description would mean a lot for a click there as well. And then, as always, you know, LaPlante Racing Products, Boardwalk Subs, and yeah, you guys tuning on in here live. Appreciate each and every one of you, as well as all the replay viewers that come in here at a later time. So that would do it for race number 6. The season is at the cross flags now. So I've been Brett the Jet in the booth. Everyone take care, stay safe, have a great rest of your week, and we'll catch you in 1 week's time here on the Turn 3 Racing Network at good old IRP. So I've been Brett the Jet, and I just flew by you. Have a good one.